What is going on, champions? It's Jalarian Tiger here yet again. It's been a minute since the free will championship free tournament thing that we did not too long ago. That was good fun. I got to do a little bit of commentating alongside Will and Sid, two of the probably what you'd consider old guard, I guess, of the game. Sid, one of the former champions, former world champion winner, I believe it was 2021. And yeah, we just got to discuss the games we were watching and have a good time. I think the stream's over on Twitch. You can find that there. And I'll try and put a link to the stream in my description. Well, what I've got in my hand here is the last Partreon package from Haunted Castle Gaming. So most of y'all who are fans of the game already know Haunted Castle Gaming, quote, closed its doors and is wrapping up Genesis. They did mention that they wanted to put out Invasion in one form or another, but it's basically been radio silence since that time. You can go check out Decks and Drafts. Joey Seenart. Drafts as in like a draft of beer. He was pretty involved in the whole thing, and it's kind of shocking to hear some of the stuff that he talked about. But, we're going to basically go over where things are now. And while we do that, we're going to open up this Partreon package. So this was for April. This was, they shuttered the doors in like April 4th, 5th, something like that. And they sent these out. Apparently they sent out some extras. I was only supporting at the like $10 level at the time, so my package isn't quite as robust as maybe as it could be. I know at one time I was doing, supporting a lot more, and they would send multiple packs and multiple promos and stuff. I know there's a letter in here, probably outlining some things, and so let's crack this open while we talk about what's going on with the fan server and what the fans are deciding to do with the game moving forward. So there's a letter and some stickers. Okay. Well, I suppose we should read this letter. Dear beloved Partreon supporters, it is with a heavy heart that I write this letter to you all today. After much contemplation and soul-searching, I have made the difficult decision to close down Haunted Castle Gaming and discontinue Genesis Battle of Champions. This decision was not made lightly, and it has been an emotional and challenging journey for me. Over the past 5 years, we have poured our hearts and souls into creating a gaming experience that we hoped would captivate and inspire our players. Unfortunately, circumstances have forced me to reevaluate my path forward. If you are wondering, I am okay. This is Assad. I am okay. The decision to close down the company was extremely challenging, and I've been dealing with a lot of stress due to it. But my physical and emotional health are stable. While I cannot be explicit about the reasons behind this decision, please know that it was not taken lightly and was made with respect and love for the community. Okay. I am incredibly grateful for your unwavering support throughout this journey. Your encouragement, feedback, and dedication have meant the world to me, and I am genuinely thankful for each and every one of you. I understand that this news may come as a shock. Yeah. And I hope that there are no hard feelings. I say for everybody that we're still grieving in our own way. I'm going to just leave it at that. In this final package, you'll be given promos. Some of them never saw the light of day. The number of promos you will get based on the length of your Patreon subscription. There are no booster packs in this package. So normally they would give you like a booster pack or like however many based on what your Patreon supporter level was. There's a sticker of Raha. Oh, and looks like maybe a box topper. Ah, a couple of beta rares, one of which is a Purifying Wave. Hey, okay. Well, that's fun. It says how long I was a supporter for. And then it goes on to say, I hope you will forgive me for closing this part of my life. I want you to look back upon the past 5 years with appreciation and excitement for the memories we have created together. While this chapter may be closing, I hope new opportunities arise. Once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being part of this incredible journey. Your support has meant everything to me, and I will always treasure the memories we have shared. With heartful gratitude, Assad Quarishi, CEO, Holly Castle Gaming Incorporated, creator of Genesis Battle Champions. So, that's interesting to hear. Obviously, you know, we're going to have a measured response for the final package. And, you know, I have to admit, I still enjoy the game. I'm still looking forward to whatever it is that is actually in the pipeline. And because there actually is some things that are still in the works. So let's start by opening up the box topper. So, crinkle, crinkle. So Sid had originally posted on the website that, you know, things were going to close down. And that, you know, no real reason was given during the close down. It was just like, hey, I have to close down. It was basically what we read here in this letter. Joey goes over it a lot more in his video. Again, I urge you to watch the entire series on that. But recently, there was an update to the main website, just GenesisBattleOfChampions.com. The splash page was changed so that there was it's basically spoiling or teasing more stuff from Invasion, which is the next set that was slated to come out, which apparently was all ready to be released, everything except for the production of it, the actual physical producing of the thing. Did I get a sample card? It's got a white back to it, and it's normally you get 2 of these epic rare box toppers plus the promo. This one's just okay, that's fun. So now it's like Invasion coming basically soon, without a lot of information still, and it's kind of my opinion that it was kind of a cut and paste job, very much like, okay, get rid of all of this stuff and leave the stuff for Invasion. And as some of you might already know, there was posts on the Facebook fan, I think it was a fan Facebook, or was it actually official Facebook? I think it was the official Facebook. That was basically a little video that in the end was just like, please don't spoil stuff for Invasion. So that tells me that they, like they originally promised, are trying to push some kind of release for Invasion forward. The issue with that right now is that there's not a lot of, it's very opaque. There's a lot of radio silence, and in my opinion, kind of the longer they wait on communicating with us fans about it, you know, the more disinterest there's going to be, honestly, about it. In the end, I kind of hope that it's a print-to-play thing. The website outlines that there's going to still be the same product lineup, you know, booster packs and everything, and I'm very doubtful that that's going to be a thing. And if it is, I sincerely hope that it's not what retail price was. I hope it's just like an at-cost thing, because I don't know. I am obviously still a little bitter in my mourning of all of this. But despite that, there's also some interesting news on the front of the fans. The previous lead designer, at one time, before the release of the Rays set, had created with the first world champion, Steve-O, the owner of Heads or Tails Gaming. Little game shop up in there. And Steve-O is like super dedicated to this game. And obviously Alex is too. And the two of them put together a set of playable decks that they will be releasing. The game is going to be called Convergence. The back of the card has been kind of teased on the fan server. If you want to check that out, you can. There's still things happening on the fan server. And it's supposed to be a Genesis compatible game so that people can play with their cards. But they're going to be making new cards for it as well. And I believe that they're also tweaking a little bit of the rules to make it a little more, to change it up basically. But that all the Genesis cards should be compatible with Convergence. Excuse me. So, Partreon package. We got some beta rares, which is very interesting. We got a Purifying Wave there from beta. I like that original art. We got a Demon Scrolls, the Demon Scrolls. Fun thing about this card, I believe the alpha version allowed you to basically pull something from outside of the game that wasn't compatible with your timeline, and they errated it, and so now it actually works. An Angel of Retribution. Classic card. A lot of hubbub about this card for a long time. It was very difficult to deal with on the board, and after a certain point when people were able to run 12 copies of it or whatever, it then became a real problem. I think it's very interesting that part of Genesis, that part of the game design is an appeal and also clearly a problem. Enough to where they just have to make some cards like Electrical Storm, which deals with a board of angels with one card. And that, to me, seems fine. I don't know. We got a Primordial Force. Very interesting card. Huge body, 8 chi, 8 health, 35 aura to beckon. 35. It's a lot. 7 dark attack. Just an attack. And has a holy weakness. So it can't attack an Angel of Retribution. Like, it can't. Because it doesn't have dark range attack. Just attack. We also got the coveted Bolt Shot. Look at that. It's a beautiful thing right there. Let me go ahead and slide these down. Coveted Bolt Shot. Wonderful card. Can't find it anywhere. I guess now there's more in the wild now that these packages have gone out. I'm assuming other people got beta rares as part of their thing. We also got a Guardian of Balance. I'm a fan of this card. 5 attack. No damage can be dealt this turn that it's beckoned, basically. Really cool. Here we go. This is my first copy of this. First proper copy, Holy Wall. This is another one that didn't see a lot of play, but it also, is quite good and is also hard to get a hold of. It was only printed in the beta set. And then I think they did a printing of it for the Patreon, where it's basically this art and everything, but they foiled it out. You got 3 copies of that. And then they also did an alternate art one with Kun. You got 3 copies of foils of that. And they're textless is the thing. So you need a copy of Holy Wall to play them. But we also got a beta, a Baruch. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Love that card. Blitz is really very strong. That's one thing. It's like the top end of this game, the power level, the top end of this game is really actually pretty high, it feels like. And the cards that are really, really good, they outclass so many of the other cards in this game. That's like, there's almost not necessarily a point. Especially in alpha and beta, there really wasn't a point to running a lot of them. But I mean, now you have like Firing Krog and tons of other juicy things. Giant Scorpion. See, now that's That's also another example of a card that I think is actually balanced, but it's also very good. The fact that it only does 3 damage, does 3 range damage, is awesome. So it can deal with the Angel of Retribution. 6 health is also good, and that awareness, that T-shaped awareness, is really where it's at. We got a Rain of Arrows. This was released as a organized play promo. So I was lucky enough to actually get a bunch of copies of this card in this art, so it looks really good. And they had an effective. It was effectively a reprint. Volley of Arrows in Origins. It has a different awareness, and but it's basically the same card. We also got a Chrono Walker, one of the most busted cards in the game. And it was balanced by basically changing a little bit of how some of the keywords work in the game. So basically it's this decoy ability. Just real quickly go over it. When a Chrono Walker enters the arena, you switch spots with it, and everything targeting it targets you instead. Basically, if you aren't able to switch spots with it in the past, the Chrono Walker still tried to do the swap, even if you couldn't move, and the targeting still worked. But they've since eroded it to where if you aren't able to move, the decoy fizzles. And that means that there is I think it's a 4-chi card, Snare, that makes it to where you can't. That's one mode of balancing this card, is to not change how it works, but to change how the text works. So, praise rulebook 5.2. Right. We also got a cognitive restriction. It looks like we're on our way to getting a full set of beta rares. That's pretty nice. Basically like the hard counterspell in the game. Libraries of Sahas. This is a very interesting card. So it was downshifted into uncommon, and basically it lets you draw a card, discard a card, and then move on to the spot that you played it on. And you can place it on an unoccupied spot in the arena. When it enters the arena, if it was created around you, then you can move on to it. So you basically can get 3 moves out of this card. You move up 1, you place it on a corner, and then you can go boop boop and get on top of it. Draw a card, discard a card. It's actually very interesting. And at 10 aura, I think it's like kind of underplayed. I'll probably try and do a deck with it someday soon. That'd be fun. We got a Demon's Rage. It's also not reprinted, but was it reprinted? Yeah, this was reprinted at some point. Meteorite was another one that was reprinted. Yeah, we got the full set of rares. And Vampiric Kiss, which was downshifted in Origins. Great. Well, that's fun. I don't need to search those out to put them into my folder, my little binder of collections. And we also got art contests, full art Angel of Retribution foil. Very cool. Got one of those now. Let's see. We got oh, interesting. Hadn't seen these before. So they did a series of alternate art Death Eaters. And they had like totally different art. This is one card that's been printed over and over again. I really do enjoy playing with this card. But this also seems to have a promo number. It just says, it's got the promo symbol at the bottom there. It also has that weird looking symbol in the corner. Sometimes, they'll put like the Origins Kickstarter or the beta. It's like the set logo as opposed to the card type logo. And I've seen that on other promo cards. This one is I don't know. I think it kind of looks like a Zergling or something, or it looks like a Sliver, from Magic the Gathering. Right, and then the final card is a full art Proteus. So this is going to be champion from the new set. It's kind of a look at what the art kind of looks like. They did the full foiling instead of the spot foiling on this one, which apparently they're supposed to be spot foiling in the next set. But hey, that's a very, It's an interesting array of cards. So, like I said, there's been shifts happening in the fan server. There's going to be Convergence, which is a fan-made game for the fans. And on top of that, kind of in response to how the Facebook has been handled by, I think the account's name is like Hero Smith. There is movement to make basically a Genesis steering council. So the hope, I believe, is that whoever is elected to this council, it's going to be ranked voting, 5 members, that they're going to represent the interests of the fans of this game, and ideally will be respected by whoever is running this game now, because Haunted Castle Gaming is not anymore, allegedly, right? They're discontinuing the game, they're shutting down doors, but the website's moving forward, and Facebook has this video of, a bunch of sad, moments, and then there's like a heartbeat pulse saying like, but it's still alive. Please don't spoil things from Invasion. So anyway, if you are interested in voting on who is going to be on this steering council, head over to the fan server. Voting is going to be open until the 21st at midnight Eastern Standard Time. And basically it's going to be ranked voting. You're going to pick which 5 of the nominees you would like to be on the council, on the steering council, this committee, whatever we're going to call it. And whenever that's been solidified, I believe the plan is to basically just move forward with those individuals, and have them be, somehow representative for us, so that we can hold whoever's in charge kind of accountable. Because at this moment, they haven't even come to the fan server or anything to say, hey, this is who I am and this is what we're doing. I think Will brought up, it's like, hey, even if there's an open house, and a lot of the answers that we can get from them are, well, I can't discuss that at this time, it would at least help to solidify in our minds what is going on. I think so many people are super invested in this game. Like myself, I've spent a lot of time learning about this game, playing this game, trying to get others to play it, sharing it, enjoying it. And I don't know at this time, if I had to make a decision, something like Convergence feels like a real thing, because it's coming from people who aren't trying to hide. It's coming from people who were deeply involved in Genesis before, and they've already got something for us. They can be communicated with. They're not an anonymous person. So I'm I'm looking at all these cards, and I'm like, great, these are cool. I can't wait to have fun with them. But I'm also looking at them and going what about it, right? What of it? What's it going to be for? Is it going to just be for me? Is it going to be just a memory for me? Or is the greater community going to get to enjoy this game still? And that being said, there are ways to still enjoy Genesis. You can still play them on Coliseum of Fate. You can still play it on Tabletop Simulator. There is product out there. So what I would recommend is, if you just want to try the game, and you don't have to play it like a TCG. I mean, a TCG is about grinding out packs, really, and this game had that built in where you could have unlimited copies of cards. But I think the game is as a casual myself, rather enjoyable in the non-competitive way. Like, competitive is running, as many copies of Angel of Retribution as you can, But, like, if you can only get your hands on 2 copies, you're still going to have a fun experience, Because all of the other cards are interactive, and, enjoyable and balanced for the most part. So I would recommend picking up a box and just giving it a shot, because it's a fun board game at least, right? If you get a booster box, you have a board game experience. You can build 4 sealed decks plus, easily. If you want to get for my store, what we did, we opened up 2 boxes and we made a sealed deck for each of the champions, and there were still cards to spare. That's 12 decks, 12 35 card decks, and they all played pretty well against each other, considering the max number of copies of anything that was in there was like 3. So I think this game can still be enjoyed. And I urge everybody to try and enjoy this game system. Find an LGS to buy it from, or find somebody maybe in the fan server who's trying to move their product, because there are people. And also, join the fan server and keep your eyes out for Convergence, which, we don't know a lot about it yet, but we do know that it's been developed by people who are highly invested in the game for many years, and who are part of the development team of the original Genesis game. Anyway, that's about all I've got. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your spring. Be good to each other. Treat each other right. Black lives matter. Trans lives matter. These rights are human rights. I love you.